Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Codex After Dark. My name is Tim. Down below is Tone Falcone, the sci-fi swordsman, and joining us tonight is Kristen. You'll know her from Codex Reviews, and the ever awesome, always wonderful Sal Rowe. Guys, how is everybody doing tonight?
Good, but I was kind of figuring out your Vogue thing.
Right.
I'm doing good here.
It's everywhere. Guys, we're going to get the business out of the way. Then we're going to get into some polls. And we've got two topics of conversation for you tonight. One is team ups, and Sal's going to bring us into that. And the other is comic reboots, movies and series. So before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, you know where to go. You know what to do. You know how to find us, your favorite social media platform, podcast streaming platform, right here on Twitch, or if you're watching this on YouTube, right there on YouTube. All you got to do is type in the Codex Station, and that is where we will be. Kristen, we have some awesome stuff that we are wearing. What is that?
Well, we have merch sign. As you can see, Tim is modeling it so beautifully. We have t-shirts.
Sexy.
I know.
Stop it.
We have t-shirts, we have hoodies, and we have stickers, and we will drop that link right there in the chat, or if you're watching on YouTube, we will have it in our description. And then you can look just as amazing as Tim when he strikes a pose.
Handsome man.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, Tone, what do people need to do if they are watching right now and are unsure?
If you're watching, you should follow, like, subscribe, invite your friends, your family, anybody you know that enjoys the pop culture comic content that you do. We're trying to grow our community, grow our family, and we build this content for you to enjoy. So reach out, bring somebody in.
Absolutely, guys. Yeah. And before we get started, Sal, you have a YouTube channel. You want to tell everybody about that real quick?
Sure. Thank you. I have a YouTube channel. It's called Sal's Comic Corner. I talk about my slabs, as you can see my slab wall and behind me. I talk about how to open one, how to prep a book to be slabbed with signatures, and I also talk about how I actually made my display wall. So I'm going to add similar stuff, some unboxing videos. Please, check them out. Got any questions? Please ask.
Guys, and don't forget, in our favorites section on YouTube, Sal's Comic Corner is right there. All you got to do is click on it, subscribe to his channel, so you can see all the awesomeness that Sal does on the regular.
I'm also dropping it in the chat right now.
There you go. Fantastic. Because the last time I did, I finagled that severely. So I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I'm just taking over that.
But with that being said, Tone, why don't you get this party started and show us some awesome comic books?
Okay. As always, I'm going to switch over to camera 2 because I think camera 2 shows the comics a little bit better than camera 1 does. So I'm going to start with The Mandalorian.
Yeah. I even looked for that at my local store today and didn't see it.
It's starting on a high point here.
If you notice, it's been signed by writer Rodney Barnes.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, that is the first official comic appearance of The Mandalorian. Is that right?
That is correct. However, right now, I'm not going to recommend this book.
Ooh, okay.
Now, I love Rodney Barnes, but everyone needs to know what they're getting when they get this book. This book is an adaptation of the story that was told in season 1 of The Mandalorian. It is not a new, independent, or unique story for The Mandalorian, for Mando. And so I thought it was, and when I opened it and I started reading it, it's episode 1. And I was I'm not going to say a little, I was very disappointed in that. Now, if you want it because of what it means in comicdom, if you wanted it, then that's great. If you want it just because you're a fan of the Star Wars pop properties and you want to keep filling out, that's fine. If you want it because you do want the comic telling of that story, then that's great. But if you were looking for something new, right, this is not the book for Mando and something new. You've already seen this story if you saw The Mandalorian season 1.
Right on.
That's a bummer.
Okay, fair enough.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. And so my next book is Moon Knight. Right.
Yeah, I haven't read it yet.
Nice.
It's on my stack.
Yeah. And so this is Moon Knight issue number 13. And Jed MacKay continues to just knock Moon Knight out the park. And for anyone who hasn't read it, I highly recommend it. Moon Knight is consistently, I don't want to call it a sleeper at this point, but
I think that's safe to say, though.
Yeah, but Moon Knight is one of the best written books in Marvel, period. Jed MacKay is a rock star, and he's taken characters like Felicia Hardy, like Moon Knight, and exactly, and giving them. I looked at the other camera. Sorry,
I'm sorry.
Them, I see you moving here in my peripheral, and I looked right over there.
You just ignore him. It's fine.
Right, and so Moon Knight, great book. Daredevil, #1. Right.
I haven't read that either.
And so I won't say too much about the story, but it picks up right where, and they've got several covers, and this is the cover I gravitated to.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah, and so it actually had an appropriate Daredevil vibe, which is also strangely a Batman vibe, right?
It is. It's a little Gotham-esque.
And so Chip Zdarsky continues to hit home runs, and there's nothing less in this book. It continues the excellence that Daredevil has been for the past few years.
Is he writing that?
Yes, he is.
Ooh,
and
okay.
I would also like to offer for anyone, Daredevil as a book has been one of the most consistently well-written comics from Marvel Comics of the past 10 years, 15 years. I don't think there's been a weak run of Daredevil since I started buying them in the mid 2000s, right? Yeah. And so Chip Zdarsky had a big shoes to fill, and he continues to fill them. My next book, which I'm utterly loving, right? Punisher, #4.
You keep talking good things about that every week.
They are doing things with Frank Castle that they have not done before. And I know a lot of people I keep saying this, we're caught up in the whole, they changed the logo. If you notice,
I was just about to say that's a different logo, and I'm very behind.
Did you hear about that?
I'm behind.
So officially, Marvel changed their official public statement was they were permanently retiring the Punisher skull logo because from a societal perspective, it's been adopted by organizations they don't want to be associated with.
Yep.
Right.
Solid choice.
And so while it's not something they wanted to do, they had to weigh that out. Right. And we know, regardless of what we meant the Punisher logo means to us, the way it's currently being used by different groups, it's not worth it for us to continue that, which pissed off a lot of traditional classic comic fans. Like, yep. Screw these groups, screw what they are, screw what they mean, but it's your logo. And Marvel introduced this new logo, and a lot of people, it looks stupid, it's a dumb logo, right? But there's a meaning behind the logo. There's a reason that is the logo, and it fits perfectly with Frank Castle. And Frank Castle is now aligned with the Hand. He's their main murderer.
That's
and
interesting.
What does that mean in role? And what's the role? And it's just it's Frank with his own code, and also at his most brutal. It's a crazy good book. Anyone who likes the Punisher should check it out.
I'm gonna have to pick that up.
Right.
I'm getting sort of like Skeletor vibes from the symbol, like little Masters of the Universe-esque there.
It's awesome.
But I like it.
The next book, Avengers, X-Men's Eternals, Eve of Judgment.
Ooh.
This is one of the variant covers. This is the cover C that features Cyclops, though he's not prominent in the book at all. I just thought it was a cool Cyclops cover.
That is a great cover.
Yeah.
He was right.
Yes, Scott.
Cyclops?
Yes, Scott is right. Cyclops is right. Absolutely. Right. Wasn't a big fan of this book. The Eternals are the Eternals as a book is a very plot heavy, very character, word bubble driven book. It's not a lot of action. It's very slow, methodical, and that fits for what they're trying to do with the Eternals. But I was expecting something a little bit different. This book doesn't read like the launch of this Eve of Judgment event, even though it's issue #1. Mm-hmm. It reads like something that should have been the preview to the event, right? It should have been the lead in 3 issues ago. And it's a little slow. If someone wants, I think, let's be realistic, the Eternals doesn't have the strongest fan base out there. And so I think that if unless you are one of the Eternals fans or the X-Men fans or someone and like wants to, or the Avengers fan, you want to keep that sequence going, I think you should wait to see how this develops by issue 2 or 3 to see if it's something you want to pick up.
Do you think that this is Marvel trying to push Eternals on its readers?
Undeniably. I think
Okay.
Marvel is trying to make the Eternals relevant the same way Marvel invested a lot trying to make the Inhumans relevant a couple of years back.
And nobody cared.
Yeah, exactly. And so sadly, I think it's good that Marvel is reminding people we have these other franchises other than the Avengers and the X-Men, right?
Mhm.
But as the comicdom, have you found that buying audience yet where you're going to start consistently putting your top tier talent on it? Whenever they start pairing somebody up with the X-Men, consistently one of their best sellers, you know they're trying to get those numbers up, right?
Yeah.
And so right now with the Eternals, I don't sense I see a lot of solid, great writing. I see a lot of great art, but I don't see it translating into purchasing energy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that book continues that spirit. And so my next 2 books are the X-Men Hellfire Gala.
Oh,
nice.
always
Nice.
Show me some Frost. There she is.
Yeah.
She's in a swimsuit.
Good.
And also Immortal
I want
X-Men number 4.
Ooh, that's beautiful.
Oh, well, that's what I want to see.
I like that a lot.
I'm an Emma Frost fan.
Well, I gotta tell
Aren't
you,
we all?
I am an Emma Frost fan. And modern Emma Frost. I didn't have a big thing with Emma Frost. She was just another character. She was okay. Then there's the mid 90s situation with Bobby Drake, where she takes over his body and does amazing things. And I like the fact that she cared about her pupils just as much as Xavier cared about his, the Hellions. And I love the way she pushed Bobby in that situation. That senior, up until then, she was just another character. Whatever.
Mhm.
Well, she also had a really good story arc with the Stepford Cuckoos too.
Yeah. And so when I come back and I revisit Emma, it's the early 2000s, and now she's with Scott and the Stepfords there, and she's, that she's treating them, raising them like they're her daughters, if you will. And it gave me great insight into Emma. And the Emma character has just grown on me from that point. And these 2 books do everything to continue that trend. And I did not think I was going to like the Hellfire Gala.
I got to read it then.
But it is a great book. I love both
Wow.
of these. These are both must reads for the week.
That's your pick of the week?
No.
Ooh, okay.
Just a must read. He said just a must read.
It's a must read. My pick of the week, 8 Billion Genies.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
This is my favorite series from Image right now.
Really?
Yes.
If Kristen, you have to read this. It
Okay.
is
Well, Kristen's going to get
amazing.
her list that she started last week.
Now, for those who don't know, 8 Billion Genies, put by Image Comics. I've been saying consistently, if you want to get away, I recommend any comic fan, if you're exploring what's great for you, get away from the superhero genre, right? Superhero genre is great. Heroes in tights, villains in tights, big storylines. It's awesome. But there's so much more out there, especially if you get to the independent companies like Image, you get to Mad Cave, you get to Aftershock, right? You get to these other companies, Dark Horse. And so Boom, can't forget Boom. Boom does amazing work.
Oh, yeah.
Where you get the writers are in their own world where they get to tell these amazing creative stories, and they don't go on forever, right? And so 8 Billion Genies is a story of one day, magically, poof, 8 billion genies appear on the planet, one for each person on the planet, and everybody on the planet gets one wish. And it's an absolute wish. You got to make it.
The genies are so polite about it, though.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And hilarity ensues after that.
That's a great wish. We'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, and so and there's a whole construct around the method and how they make wishes. What happens when people have conflicting wishes? What happens when people all have the same wish? And so I want to see where this story ends, but it's issue 3. It continues to be a great read. It's my book of the week.
That's
right.
amazing.
I remember you talking about, did we talk about this a little bit last week too?
Yes.
Yeah. We did.
Okay.
Yep.
That's already on my list then.
Right. 8 Billion
Got it.
Genies number 2 came out a little bit late, and so I got to read, but 3 came out on time, so I got to read 2 and 3 in back-to-back weeks.
Nice.
In my polls, we'll get to that, but my comic shop just got 8 Billion Genies number 1, and I was able to snag 2 covers today. I'll show you those later.
Oh,
Yeah.
Now, I also had a mail call, and I managed, and this was a complete random Facebook snap. I went into a sale. I've got a sales group going on, and a guy posted something, and I was like, "Hey, is that still available?" And he said, "Yeah." And I picked up at a really good price, West Coast Avengers. Right?
nice.
And this is the mini series, West Coast Avengers number 1 through 4.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
That's good.
And
stuff.
so that's the mini issue 1 through 4 of the West Coast Avengers.
That's a series I think a lot of people forgot about that is actually good
It was good.
Avenger storytelling.
I think we were
And
talking about
then-
that on the group too recently. I feel like.
I also picked up West Coast Avengers, the actual series, number 1 through 27.
Ooh, good
Now, I myself
stuff.
didn't even know that this went for 100 issues,
Mhm.
right? I did not know that. And so
I think it went over 100, didn't it?
it may this is a series I'm actually going to complete. I've put it onto my hunt down and go ahead and work to get a full run. And so West Coast Avengers number 1 through 27 right here.
Yeah.
Start my collection. Wow. I'll be
That's the
bagging and
Centurion
reporting.
Iron
Jones in
Man armor.
completionist mode.
Sal's doing
Completionist
research
mode.
right now. Let us know.
And
It
then
went to 102 issues, actually, it looks like.
Just barely
102.
over.
Yeah.
And then my next mail call, right? I'll show you the size of the stack. Bum, bum,
Oh
bum.
God, what is that?
This is various Avengers books. Avengers
my
comics.
God.
And I've
that's
always been a little
wonderful.
thin on the Avengers.
Not anymore.
And so yeah,
Oh,
so this
now
starts
his wallet's
with
stepped
issue.
in.
Fixed
This
in
is
one.
starts with
One
issue
go.
127, and it's not consistently. It's a bit broken in here, but from 127 up to issue 286, right? So I've got a
286?
mixed bag, between this. So
You
as you
need
can
to
see-
look in there and see if you have the one that has Kang on the cover. It's like a blue background, him standing there. It's the first appearance of the Council of Kangs.
you give me a number range to
Yep, I'll do that here in just a second because I have the issue. I do believe,
Council of Kings.
yeah, it is 267.
Let's see here. Do I have 267?
Yep, 267 is the first appearance, I believe. Yeah, first team appearance of the
No.
Council of Crosstime Kangs.
No,
Ah.
I have let's see. I'm gonna put down half the stack here. 262,
You're right.
262, 63, 64,
That's a good cover.
65,
Yep, I got that one.
70.
Wow, come
Aw.
on.
Womp womp.
So with that, now of course in true tone super way, sci-fi swordsman, sage gamer, before I'm going to be rebagging these, reboarding these, and then I will read every single one before I box these. This will officially get me to a second Avengers long box that I need to store these in. And I have no freaking idea where I'm going to put them at, but that is my mail call for the week.
Wow.
That's
Nice.
Man.
wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, Tone's book of the week is 8 Billion Genies, number 3. So definitely check that out. Kristen, you are up
My
next. What do you
God.
got for us this week?
I don't think I can follow that.
It's nothing to follow.
Oh my
The
God.
stack
That was
that's this
impressive.
darn tall.
You watched last week, you know I'm pretty much like the Omnibus queen because I'm way too lazy to go to the comic book store every week. But first, I don't have a must read of the week. I have a must avoid of the week.
Okay.
So the reason I don't have a must read of the week is because I was trying to read something to record a review for you guys, and I just can't bring myself to finish all 4 comics. It is an X-Men Fairy Tales.
Ooh.
Have you guys seen those? Yeah.
Bring
That's
it more center.
I know. My
Right
camera
there.
sucks. I'm trying to get a new one.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. Wow,
That's
you didn't like
technically
that?
It's so boring. It's
Oh
so
my God.
fucking boring. It's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. It's gorgeous artwork. I'm a fairy tale person. You would think I'd love it. And I'm just like, nope, I can't do this. Tim, do you remember when I recorded the Japanese fairy tales for
do.
Anime Central? Yeah,
Yep.
that's what they all are.
Wow.
And I'm like, I just recorded these last year. So I can't even I have all 4 of them. I can't do it. There's probably a reason why I got all 4 for 50 cents.
So Kristen's must avoid of the week, X-Men Fairy Tales. Ladies and gentlemen, stay
Sorry.
away.
It's from 2009. So if you've missed it already, you're not missing anything else. Basically, I have pooled a couple of omnibuses that we are dedicating to my husband, because this is what happens when I give my husband my credit card and tell him to go pick me out a few things on Amazon to buy. I have not started reading them yet because there will be reviews. Let's see if there's a theme that he has here. We have Army of Darkness versus Vampirella. I really do need a new camera, and
Bring
I can't
it closer
see.
to you.
Closer to me?
Yep.
To my heart. There we go.
Perfect.
Oops.
Wow.
Love it.
Okay, I'm not mad at that. Okay, I'm going.
Not mad at that at all.
Vampirella is severely underrated, I believe. I don't
Oh, good.
think she gets near enough.
Is there a
attention
theme?
as she needs to.
Is there a
Oh,
freaking
wow.
theme?
What is that? What is that?
That's
Reanimator.
Vampirella versus Reanimator. Yep.
Okay, all right. I'm still
Mhm.
not seeing the problem.
Nope. Nope. We're going to continue on here. I now have Army of Darkness versus Xena, the whole entire series.
Okay, Xena.
It's a thick boy. It's a thick boy. This one was one that Jamie wants me to do a review on. It's going to take me a little bit, guys. I will get there.
I'm okay with Xena.
Cup of coffee and Red Bulls, and you'll have it read in an hour.
I had Red Bull since 2009. I probably needed the Red Bull in 2009 to read the X-Men Fairy Tales.
Oh, probably.
And then from one of my favorite horror movies, the Trick or Treat Omnibus. So people that don't know, because I'm the horror movie person of this group here. People that know, Trick or Treat is a movie that has a couple of different storylines in there and one all-encompassing storyline. But it starts out with little comic book panels in the beginning to make it feel like a comic book type movie. It was not at the beginning. Like Creepshow, but Creepshow ended up being a comic book. So they decided to go ahead and make this into a comic book. So I plan to have that one read and reviewed for the October season for everybody. But yeah, this is what happens when you give my husband my credit card. And he also bought himself some role-playing books. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that either.
We are now the proud owners of Army. It's still Army of Darkness, by the way.
Amazing.
An RPG game. And what else did he get? He got the Vampire the Masquerade Beckett book. The Beckett
Shop
Jihad.
smart, people. Shop
as smart. So look out for those. I'm actually going to start reading these this week and get some of those reviews out for you.
Cool.
He thought people would just like to look at Vampirella. He's not wrong.
What?
He's not wrong at all.
Kristen, what 2 new reviews are coming out for Codex that you've done?
So this Thursday, I believe you said? This upcoming Thursday. Probably last Thursday by the time this reaches YouTube. Will be the whole series of Rogue and Gambit that came out in 2018, I believe.
Mr. and Mrs. X?
No, just Rogue and Gambit. It was called Ring of Fire.
It's couples therapy.
Yeah, it's couples therapy. It's 5 issues of couples therapy. And apparently, I guess my review must be okay because Tim couldn't stop laughing while he was editing it.
It was amazing. Greatest review of Rogue and Gambit I have ever watched. So
yeah, it was very interesting. Also have, sorry, someone just messaged me on Discord. I'm like, who are you?
Busy.
Also have I Hate Fairyland. The whole entire series, per Jamie, he's been waiting for it. And I don't think that one's been edited yet, but will it come out the following week?
Yes.
Well, there you go. You get 2 weeks of me.
Awesome.
I'd say sorry, but I'm not.
There we go. All right.
So let me be clear. X-Men Fairy Tale gets the I guess I'm going to call it the William Shatner Klingon Award.
Oh God, yeah.
It's dead.
In the boat.
Let them die. Let it die.
There's a reason why I got all 4 issues for 50 cents in the clearance bin at half price books. Okay.
That's what we're calling it from now on.
They weren't 50 cents each.
is
50 cents.
whoever's Shatner of the week.
There you go. It's a Shatner of the week.
X-Men fairy tale. It's dying. It's dying,
Yeah.
Jim. Let
You don't-
it die.
You don't need me to review it, guys. It's four things of. Well, I can at least let you look at the covers. Now that
No, that's okay.
We're
We'll
good.
pass.
there's that.
Pass.
Hey,
Nice.
that dog's Iceman.
That's amazing.
This is Archangel. That's Cyclops. There's B.
Tones out. He's done.
I don't know who all these people are because I stopped reading after one.
Wow, that's even better.
That
Kristen
looks like it
Shatner
might.
of the week. X-Men fairy tales.
I think there's Wolverine on there. I don't know, but that looks like a phoenix to me.
Wow.
We'll never know.
You are manhandling those books. Something fierce.
Look, they were mishandled before I even got to them. I am enjoying
Everything
all
can't
the
be a hit.
I am
Everything
enjoying
can't
all
be a hit.
the nostalgia of the ads though.
That's wonderful. Is that a got milk ad?
That was a got milk. We got some bubble tape.
There's no milk in the ad anyway.
He's got the milk mustache.
Oh,
He's got the milk mustache. It's hard to see.
Beckham kicking a bit.
That's-
Anyways,
yeah, that's just
Hey,
moving
Don't worry,
on.
For everybody that loves comics, I promise you these are in good condition and they do have a backboard and things, but I had them out because I was reading them.
Moving
Tim,
on.
Tim, I have to interrupt you because Jamie's messaging the hell out of me right at this moment.
Oh, because my
Oh,
phone's on silent.
Probably he's been killing me with the messages. He wants me to show off the corner, my corner here for his brothers.
Oh yeah. Go for
Tommy and TJ.
Go for it.
Let me just do that really quick, and then I
Hey,
can let
what's
you go
going
ahead.
on, Tommy and TJ?
What's up?
So
What's going
Tommy
on,
and
guys?
TJ, here you go, buddy. Here you go, guys.
Oh yeah, that's the
One
good
little
stuff
here.
right there.
This is
All right.
why we do what we do.
Tour
back over
of
here.
Sal's
This
Corner.
one right
That-
here, I'm actually kind of proud of. This is signed by Stan Lee and John Romana.
I have the particle board
Oh, yeah.
version of that on my wall.
Nice. This one's actually signed by Zach.
One
What
of
is
my
that?
favorite artists of all time, Mike
Zach's
Zex, and one of my
great.
favorite comics of all time.
All right. I'm not looking at my computer, so I'm just hoping this is lined up.
Yes.
We're at
It's
Wolverine.
lined up enough.
Hulk.
Yes.
Yep.
That uncanny issue right there. I think that's 207.
I feel like we need like a theme song for Sal's Comic Corner.
I'm working on it.
Yes.
And then we'll go down here.
Dreams come true.
Oh, there's Jamie's favorite part of the wall.
There
Yep.
it is, right there. GL. One of my favorite issues also. That's
Yep.
not the first appearance of Kyle Rayner, but it's when he takes over as Green Lantern.
Correct.
I think I've got it up on my wall up there also. You can't see it. It's not as well done as Sal's, but it's right there over the door.
Yep.
Right here.
That's amazing.
I'd show you this
Alright.
room, but it is the LARPing room, so it's all role playing books.
There we go. Jamie said that was okay to do. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I did
awesome. Great.
taking up with Jamie.
It would have been okay to do even if Jamie didn't say so.
Jamie, I
good corner.
will
It's a good
send
corner.
a strongly worded text of support here in just a moment after I show my polls.
Okay.
Oh, what you got, Tim?
Yeah. So, like Sal, I try and get to my LCS about once a month, maybe a little more often. Sometimes I can't, though. This is one of those times I was only able to make it once this month. And I got all my stuff and I went to McKay's like always and found some other coolness. And I'm going to show that to you now. So
You like coolness.
yes. Speaking of cool, at my LCS, they had the first 3 issues and I picked them up off of Tone's recommendation. I've read the
Uh-oh.
first 2 already and I loved it. And I'm going to read book 3 later. Rogues, number 1.
Mm.
Yep. Loved
Oh.
the first issue. Loved it.
I bailed out of it.
Nope, I'm in it to win it. It's great. And issue 2 sealed the deal for me. Really enjoyed it. Love what they're doing with this. And then I've got issue 3 here. So
Yeah. My question is it still just a heist?
yeah.
Yeah. And so I was expecting more than a heist book. And I know it's the Rogues and I like the Rogues. But the cover meant more to me than the story.
Very true. I will agree with you 100% on that. The cover implies a little bit more than what the story actually is, but Captain Cold is awesome in it, and Mirror Master is really cool. I really dig him right now. But I like it. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm, like you said, like way back when we were talking about that, if you can read it for what it is, you can get into it. And I did that and I loved it. But moving forward, we'll stick with DC for a little bit. I've got DC vs. Vampires number 7. This is the B
God, I'm
cover,
blind.
I believe.
Yeah.
Kristen, put on your reading glasses.
I only have this pair of glasses,
Oh, okay.
and they are out of prescription. Fixing that next week.
Yeah, so this is it. I believe that's Harley Quinn on the cover. Looks like it. I don't know.
Yeah, she's become critical to that story.
Yep, and I almost bought the one shot that has her in it today, but my comic budget was exceeded by more than I wanted to.
That was a good book.
I got the 1 in 25 variant for Dark Crisis number 1 today.
Oh, not Doomsday on a leash.
Yep.
Yep.
Being controlled by none other than Darkseid.
Yep.
But I saw this and I had to grab it. It just looked amazing. And I was like, I'm taking that. Then we're in Dark Crisis number 2. This is the B variant, I believe. I have not read number 2 yet, but I already know everything that happens in it.
That couples therapy as well.
Yeah, with Deathstroke and Nightwing.
Dark Crisis number 2.
This was not my book of the week last week, but it was very, very close. Poison Ivy number 2. This is a high recommendation. Issue 1 was wonderful. I am in love with this series right now.
Yeah.
And I hope issue 2 is as good as issue 1. And from what I've heard, it absolutely is. Here's the B variant. I believe this might be the C variant. Nope, this is the B. And the B covers on Poison Ivy are phenomenal.
Yeah,
I agree.
That cover's doing something for me, and I enjoy it.
It's doing things for me. Moving to Zdarsky's premiere on Batman, we have Batman 125. This is the Jim Lee B variant. Yep. They didn't have the A covers. I couldn't get an A cover, so I grabbed this, and I grabbed one other one. I got this one here. Love Jim Lee's work, and I grabbed this one with Catwoman on the cover.
Have you read it yet?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Has anyone here not read it?
Kristen.
Probably me.
Yeah, I read it.
Are you going to read it?
Probably.
Yes.
Well, there it is.
I won't spoil it then.
God, horror girl. I'm behind on my horror comics, please.
Horror in here. Some of it, kind of.
That's the book that last week I told you. I have the Jim Lee cover also.
Yep.
That's the book that last week I said pissed me off.
Yep.
Because you shot fucking Tim Drake, right?
Spoilers.
No, that's fine. I'm a spoiler person. You could spoiler anything for me. And I'd probably
I was like, you know what? Don't Jason Todd my Tim Drake.
They almost did.
Right.
We need that on a shirt. Don't Jason Todd my Tim Drake.
I'm just saying,
that's
man.
a good thing.
Like Tim is my favorite Robin.
Thank you.
Right. I know everybody, especially in this era of everybody loving Damian. The classic guys love
Tim's my favorite.
Love Richard. I'm not going to say that word. The classic guys love Richard, right? The current guys love Damian, and I've always been a Tim Drake guy, my favorite Robin. And to see Chip Zdarsky like smite him in issue 1. It's like,
But Jim Lee did him very good justice on the cover.
Yeah. It's Chip Zdarsky. I know there's going to be more there.
You got to be in it for the long haul with him.
Yeah, and remember he did that with Daredevil's when he was writing Daredevil. Daredevil had was that Chip who did or am I mixing runs? Daredevil
Devil's
had
Reign?
No, Daredevil had he had a sidekick. I think I'm mixing it with the Soul Run where he had a sidekick and the sidekick ends up getting blinded. His name was Blind Spot.
I don't think that was in.
No, I don't think that's the Zdarsky.
Recent Zdarsky. Yeah.
It's the Soul Run that's in. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah. With Zdarsky, you have to be in it for the long haul. For recommendations for DC books, I'm putting it on Batman 125 and Poison Ivy #2, even though I haven't read Poison Ivy 2 yet. 1 was such a fantastic read. Those are my books of the week for DC only, but not my book of the week.
Oh.
So sticking with Tim Drake,
Dun,
mine
dun,
and Tone's
dun.
favorite Robin, we have Robin 2 #1. This is the Kelly Jones variant for this, and it's got that nice little hologram right
It
there.
does.
That's Robin 2, The Joker's Wild.
That is correct. Absolutely. Yep. Great story. I think this is peak Robin, and it's Tim Drake Robin, and it was done in the 90s. This is done by Chuck Dixon, Tim Lyle, and Bob Smith, or Tom Lyle. Tom Lyle, if you guys don't recognize his work in DC, you will recognize it on the adjectiveless Spider-Man, which he took over not too long after Larson left.
For those who don't know, Joker's that particular story is a story why I love Tim Drake as Robin. Robin 2, The Joker's Wild. Tim Drake is the guy he's the kid that figures out Bruce Wayne is Batman and basically comes to the door, gives him an ultimatum. Bruce accepts him, but he keeps him in the cave because he's training him. There's so much to learn being a Robin. And when in that particular story, Bruce is away and the Joker is in Gotham, and Robin is trying to make the Joker think Batman is still around.
Yeah.
Right. And there's no way he's prepared to go up against Bruce's greatest enemy. And of course, that's going to happen. It was a great story.
Yeah, it's awesome. In Robin Volume 2, this is a title I am slowly working on completing, and I just got issue number 16 today. That is Grummett artwork. Dixon is still doing the writing. Grummett, I love his work, what he did for Superman and things like that, and then moving over to Robin, absolutely gorgeous. And then we got number 17 for that also.
Yeah, great.
So
I really look forward to having better glasses next time we do this.
here is something I found at McKay's. I paid $5 for it. I think it was a great deal. It's Wonder Woman #1 from August of 2006. Terry Dodson cover. As soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, that's coming home with me. Absolutely gorgeous.
It's pretty.
Yeah, when Wonder Woman's drawn right, she looks wonderful. Yeah, and as soon as I saw it, I had to take it home. Justice League #1 for the Rebirth. I didn't have this. Justice League's big title that I'm trying to work on, cruising around trying to get it. So that's #1 there. And I got the variant for #2 again with Wonder Woman. Yeah, I saw that and had to take that home. And then for the current Justice League run that just ended on 75, I picked up issue #2 today. So there's that. And then we have Dark Knight's Death Metal #1 variant cover.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like
Batman on that motorcycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're a Greg Capullo fan, man, he was just going crazy.
Dude.
Right.
I think this is the Finch cover. I could be wrong though. Sal, correct me if I'm wrong on that. I think that might be the Finch cover.
Death Metal. What's the number on that one?
121. It's issue #1. It's the B variant for Death Metal. I think that's Finch.
Hold on, I'm checking.
Yeah, it looks good though. But while Sal's doing that, I'll show you guys this. I found this at McKay's also. It's issue #1. I've always wanted to pick it up, and every time I tried to find it at comic shops or anything like that, they were always sold out. So I was able to get a variant cover for Berserker.
I heard that book really picked up. People said it started a little slow the first 2 or 3 issues. After that, it's been just completely awesome.
Yeah, this is Keanu Reeves, Matt Kint, Ron Garney, and Bill Crabtree. This is Boom Studios. This book was hot for a while, for a long while. Let's see here. So book of the week. This is my book of the week.
Here we go.
And I haven't read issue 3 yet, but Tone, you already have. But the title is so damn good. 8 billion. Yeah. Everybody needs to check this out. Tone, as soon as you showed issue 1, a while ago. I was like, I got to read that. And I was able to read it and loved it. Absolutely wonderful. This book is hot. It is on fire right now. And on eBay, I believe issue 1's going for $20 to $30.
I mean, I'll
Really?
trade you. I'll trade you for all 4 X-Men fairy tales.
No. And I picked up a variant of number 1. And
That's
these
pretty.
were the only covers that my local comic shop had in.
I
Got
like
them
that
for
though.
cover price, and I am super excited about having these. Kristen, you need to read 8 Billion Genies. That's your homework
That's my homework.
until next week. Yeah.
I'm
So
telling
Tim,
you,
you are correct. That is the Finch cover.
Okay, cool.
if
Yes.
you think about what would happen in the world today if every single person got a wish right now,
Yep.
and what the
Yeah.
frack would
It'd be-
happen to the
it'd be-
world,
It'd be mass fluffing chaos.
right?
Yes,
Then you should read the book. right?
Yes.
Sorry. I just finished I Hate Fairyland recently, and she can't swear in Fairyland, so everything's, muffin fluffer and fluff this
That
and
is
things like that.
definitely not muffin fluffing. That is something else.
Mm.
Moving into Marvel, and that's the end of mine. And then Sal, you can finish us off.
Okay.
I like how mine takes 2 seconds because that's what happens when you do Omnibus Queen. But I haven't read it yet.
I was finally able to get the A cover for Amazing Spider-Man #1.
Yeah.
You're happy
Yeah.
now.
I
Dig into that
am.
series.
That's a happy Tim right there.
I love this series. I didn't hear, and issue 2 started to seal it. 3 sealed the deal. 4 was great. 5 was kind of a letdown for me.
Mm.
I was expecting another issue for the storyline, but 5 just kind of put a stop to everything. They're like, okay, we're done. Now we're going to move on to something else. Oh, okay, fine. But 5 is pretty solid. Overall, the run, I think the run itself, I'd give a nice solid 7.5, 8,
Okay.
somewhere in there. 2 through 4 are the best parts of the run. 1 and 5 are lacking, in my opinion. But I got the only Hellfire Gala variant that I have, and it's the Spider-Man.
Nice.
Yeah,
I saw that one.
that was in my polls, and yeah, I love it. I think it looks great. Moving
Everybody
on.
knows that Tim's a Spider-Man fan, right?
Huge. Oh
Huge.
yeah.
Huge.
Tone, you had one cover. I have a different Daredevil #1,
Mhm.
I like
and
that
I'm
one.
excited to read this. Yeah, this looks very interesting. I'm ready to get into it. The aftermath of Devil's Reign. So super excited. You already showed this book, so I'll breeze right past it. Moon Knight #13. That's
Yep.
going to get read tonight. And then my big purchases for the week are some Uncanny. As you guys know, I am on the hunt for getting the entire run. And right now I have an unbroken run from 278 to 544. These are nowhere near those numbers, though. These are in the hundreds, 140s, actually. So they fill in gaps, but not closing off big ones. But I'll show the cover I like the least and then the one I like the best. This is 147. Rogue takes
Rogue Storm.
over. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
This,
classic X-Men era, man.
Yep.
yeah, this is Claremont too. So
Yeah.
and the
Love it.
artwork, yeah. And you'll notice Dr. Doom
Is right there.
down there.
Mhm.
So in the issue previous, or 2 issues previous, in 145, this is one of the coolest damn Dr. Doom covers I have ever seen. Tone, you're gonna want it, and I'll never trade it. X-Men 145. Look at that, dude.
Yeah. I understand your
That's
desire.
classic Doom.
That is.
I've got 2 of them.
Never mind.
Can
Can
I
I
interest
would be
you in-
surprised that Tone doesn't have it.
Let's see. Can I interest Tone on all 4 copies of X-Men Fairy
There you go. As soon as I saw it, I was digging through the back issue boxes and I pulled it out. I was like,
That was in
gotta
a back
have
issue
that.
box.
Yeah, this
Nobody
was in back
snagged
issue.
that. Oh my goodness.
Yep. It was sitting in there, and I pulled that and 147 out. Those were my big purchases this week.
No, if you guys have half price books where you're at, I worked for them for years, but they don't really have anybody
Cockrell
there that knows
artwork.
comics. So a lot of their good stuff will actually be there for like just $1.50,
Yep.
just in the back issue boxes.
I think I paid maybe I paid too much, but for me I didn't. For both of them, I paid $20.
Nice.
So I was very happy with that. And that Dr. Doom cover, that's going to go in my stack of books to send off to get graded just for cover alone. And then you can be super jealous, Tone, because I'll have a graded copy.
I'm not a big graded guy.
You are the best graded guy. Sal, what kind of stuff do you have to show us today?
Ooh.
Right. And Tony, you're always a 10 in my book, all right? Just saying.
Oh,
No, thank you, Sal. I appreciate
Wow.
it. I appreciate
So I
it.
got this is this would be a partial LCS pool and mail call type situation. And at the end of it, I've got 2 slabs to show, but we'll just start off with Dark Crisis.
Dark Crisis, man, that book was outstanding.
nice.
That's the A cover, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So on Tone's recommendation, I was picking up Sabretooth. I've not read these yet.
Yeah,
So
remember I tried to prep people for the letdown, what I felt was a letdown at the end.
Right. But I haven't gotten all the issues yet. I'm missing 3, 2, and 3. So I gotta get those. We got my X-Men 12.
Nice.
Hot.
Yeah.
Right. We're gonna save that guy for later because I like that one. To show that one later. We got Carnage.
I saw that today and I almost picked it up.
Yeah. We got the Immortal X-Men number 3.
Destiny.
Yeah, that book has been fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Were you talking about it last week, Tone, where they're really putting a bigger emphasis on Destiny this time around?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Big time. All right, we got the Spider-Man's 4 and 5.
Yeah. Right on.
And actually, I'll have to disagree with you, Tim. I'm enjoying this series.
Really?
This run.
Well, I'm not enjoying it. I just didn't like 5.
I don't know. I don't know. The way it ended, I don't know. I kind of liked it. It kind of
Really?
fit. It kind of fit for me.
Okay.
So
I'll be checking that out on Unlimited. I won't be buying that.
What was the last issue you bought, Tone? 2 or 1?
I think it was 1. It might have been 2, but I'm thinking it was 1.
Wow.
And I was let down by the Ramita art, and it didn't float me, and I wanted to go back to the golden era, and the fact that Peter started off as what I call loser Peter again, that's just so disheartening for me. I want to see Peter move forward, and so I just said, no, it's not that I'm not going to read it. I'm just not going to. I pay a subscription to Unlimited for these things, and
take it digitally.
Yep. And if I read it on Unlimited, that's what the subscription is for. And then I can go back and pick up. It doesn't look like it's selling out, right?
Right.
No.
And so I'll go back and pick up the singles if I like it after it all rolls out on Unlimited.
Sal, let me ask you this: with the Ramita artwork from 1 to 5, do you think it's progressed? My opinion is yes. I think he's gotten into his groove at like issue 3 and 4.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
That's good to know.
Moving on.
I got a Batman 89 number 6. I just love the cover on that.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice. Sexy.
Yep. All right, now we got some Batman 125s. I decided to get a lot of these covers.
Look at that. I saw that at my LCS
That's
today
a great
too.
cover. I didn't see that cover.
This one.
The A,
Yeah,
which
that's
I
the A.
want. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's the Jimenez artwork.
Okay, and then I picked up Killers.
Ooh.
The Spawn, not Spawn. This is the
Homage.
Batman 425 homage.
Yep.
Was it 425? I think it's 425.
I believe so.
Yeah. A book that's actually on my short list to be slammed. Put those down there. I picked up my Harlequin Vampire one.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a great book.
Absolutely. This is actually what out of all the ones I've read this week, this one I think is my number one.
Is that your book of the week?
I'll go with it. Right now, we're going to say
Okay.
yes, it's the book of the week.
Another one for Kristen to add to her list.
All right, save that one. All right, we'll go with these now. So got my Hot Rod Transformers.
Not Hot Rod.
That's so retro.
I loved Hot Rod so much. And then he got Prime killed.
So we got the Pac Gleason art on this one.
Ah,
Wow.
those
Wow.
variants I cannot find.
That
Yeah,
looks great.
I did not get this at my LCS. I got this through a Facebook seller that was selling like multiple
Wow.
covers, and you buy the bunch type situation. So, okay, so here's another one that I liked. This is a George Perez book.
Oh,
Oof.
Ah.
Oh, that's
So-
classic.
Wait a
Classic
minute.
favorite,
Hold
very
that
classic.
back up.
Sorry.
Yeah. Does that have Savick? Yep, right there.
So the sad story behind this was I had picked this up. I was going to get it signed by George Perez. Unfortunately, he passed away, and I had the option to
Rip.
slab it as a regular slab or send it back to me raw. I opted to send it back to me raw, and now I'm kind of regretting that. But it can go into the short list box.
Tone, have you read Star Trek comics?
No.
No.
Well, I read the not classically, no. The one I had is, as a matter of fact, be right back.
Okay.
Man, talk about like a cliffhanger. I'm gonna keep going then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
keep
for
going.
it. Go
Keep
for it.
Going. So I picked up the Rogue green cover.
That's great.
I love it.
I
I
love
love it.
I love the background type of thing. I have that Wolverine up there. That's the same way. It's,
Yep.
I don't know, that type of art just jumps out at me, and I just love it. All right, you're gonna love this one now. Foily goodness. Oh, hold on, Tone's got something.
What is that? Star Trek
Trek
year.
year.
5.
Wow.
Experienced and loss.
And so this is the run that I started. Now this is the trade, but I started just before this particular run, picking up the singles. And so that's my Star Trek experience. I don't have a deep history reading Star Trek books, but as a Trekker who moonlights as a Trekkie, right?
Way to put both of those in there.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I am not a Trekkie, but I'm a solid avid Trekker, right? And so to a point where I could rub elbows with the Trekkie crowd, though I'm not a Trekkie. But
Oh,
yeah,
you're getting into propulsion and warp drive and lithium
Oh.
chambers. I'm out of here.
That's-
you would be in for that discussion, and you know it, and you know it.
Coming up next week, people, Trekkie versus Trekker.
Who wants to go to Quark's bar? I'm buying.
See, I'm going down to 10th floor, having some drinks with Whoopi.
There
No
you go.
gold
There you go.
pressed
Oh.
platinum.
Mm,
No spin the wheel.
Oh,
Sal,
God.
continue on. I'm sorry.
that's all right. That's all right. I love the sidebars.
Yeah.
All right, so we got some foily goodness on this one. This is the Batman 125.
Mm.
Ooh.
Shiny.
Wow,
Ah,
I didn't
So-
see that. That's gorgeous.
they
That
are
is nice.
really
This will
putting.
move to the top of the list to be slab situation.
Wow.
As someone who does the Omnibus Queen thing, I love hearing all of your reactions to these covers.
We're a bunch of.
Ah, it's just it just warms my cold heart.
It's like watching fire. It's like
So-
watching fireworks. Ooh.
Ooh.
Ah.
A great cover sets it off, man. I've bought trash books that had a great cover, and
Yeah.
hey, it'll do it for me.
I know.
Well,
Same
can I
here.
interest you in some X-Men fiction?
No, Kristen, we are beyond the fairy tale.
Back to Star Trek. Let it die.
Oh, so what I found with the foil books, I took this out to check it out, and you can get fingerprints on this sucker very easily,
I
Mhm.
bet.
very easily. So I've got to figure out a way to wipe that down before it
Rubbing
actually
alcohol.
goes. Yeah, rubbing alcohol.
Yes, absolutely. Just
Yeah.
pour it on there.
Pour it on there, throw a match, everything's
Yes,
fantastic.
done.
We're done. All right, so
If the whole
Nice.
thing's covered in fingerprints, you don't have to wipe anything.
Well, yeah.
then
there
it's
you
part of the
go.
design.
We are going off the rails tonight. Holy cow.
I'm running on 3 hours of sleep, and I've worked the last
Whoa.
14 days in a row.
in another 2 minutes, I'm going to break out the whiskey and just start drinking because of,
Done.
Look, I could have said you could have put fingerprints all over that after a really, really heavy dinner of pizza and or popcorn after the movies.
Ladies and
Okay,
gentlemen,
Kristen,
we recommend eating Doritos while reading
I have
your
a clean
comic
room.
books.
I have a clean room that books go into. Okay, you have to wear a biohazard suit to go into this room. Okay,
Kristen's not allowed in there ever.
and you have to subject yourself to a full background check. Okay.
Right, we haven't even gotten to the topics yet. All right.
Nope.
Wow. We're at we're at it. Yeah,
right,
what you got next, Sal?
We got my 2 slabs. So we got the Ghost Rider.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
That's nice.
I think I've got that up on the wall too. Yep, I got that on the wall right over
That
here.
looks great.
And my favorite one, the Immortal X-Men #1.
That is
Wow.
gorgeous. DNA.
Yes, Storm cover. That's going to appreciate everything with Storms goes gold.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I love that 90s costume. By
I
the
do
way.
too.
Mhm.
That's good. And the last book I got came as a recommendation from Dan Kelly from Comic Book
Okay.
Character Day. I didn't like it. I didn't like this book.
Ooh.
This story
Dan.
didn't capture me. But I'm going to show it to you. But I took the time to read it. But it was this one. It's called the Black Flamingo.
Is this your Shatner of the week?
Yeah.
This is your must avoid of the week. Like I just started.
I'm not going to tell. I can't tell anybody to not read stuff.
Right.
I'm just not that type of person because there is a book out there for everybody, and that they like, and they're gonna read. He recommended this to me. He's a good guy. I trusted his judgment on this one.
Oh yeah.
I didn't like it, so no big deal. I only lost out on $4. Whatever.
Right on. And that's the whole point of it, is sometimes you try some things and it works out, and other times it doesn't. And that's okay.
Right.
By the way, for the X-Men fairy tales, it would be very kid friendly, which is what it's meant to be. So I think
You could trade
a
Sal the
younger-
fairy tales for that.
I would
Didn't
think
like.
I would think that the younger generation trying to get into comics would enjoy that.
Okay.
That'll be my plus for it.
Okay. Fair point. And that's what I have.
I will still let it go for
Okay.
cheap.
Well,
That's
That's awesome.
yeah. Sal, you've got a topic of conversation, but before we get into that, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to find us on all the socials. You know what they are. All you got to do is type in the Codex Station. That's where we will be. We have this beautiful merch that you can check out. That's going to be put in the chat here on Twitch. It'll be in the description on YouTube. And don't forget to follow, like, share, subscribe, and be super excited for the Codex Station. There you go. Sal, what is our topic that we're going to dive into first? This one was your idea.
Yeah, I was like in the superhero team ups. What's your favorite one? And for some reason, recently, one particular team up was popping in my head, so much so that I had to go buy the digital copy on Amazon and read it like a few days ago, because it was just like one of those things churning in your brain. I had to go reread it, and it was the Spider-Man versus Wolverine.
Okay.
When I was reading it, it really brought home a lot of issues of how superheroes deal with a couple of like moral and ethical issues, and you couldn't find two polar opposites on the screen between Spider-Man and Wolverine.
Yeah, it's very true.
And how they deal with it, and how they dealt with it, and how they became, I guess, like a more or a closer or tighter bond between it. Because I think from that story on, you could see that Wolverine kind of bonded with Spider-Man because of certain things. And there was another issue of Wolverine that came out where he stated, like, he likes his X-Men family, their family, they accept him for what he is. He likes Spider-Man because Spider-Man makes him be a better person.
I know the issue you're talking about, but I can't remember the number.
Right. Same here. So I bought them digitally and I reread it, and the scene that really keeps popping back to me is Spider-Man is wailing on Wolverine, and you can see they're in the cemetery, and the tombstone behind them is just cracking, and Spider-Man saying, a normal person would be jello by now, but he is not. He just won't stop smiling. I can't stop him smiling. That type of situation. So that particular scene just kind of repopped in my head, which made me go look it up. So that's what I was saying. What's your guys' favorite superhero team up?
Right on. Tone, Kristen, what do you guys have for superhero team ups?
I feel like Tim's going to know my answer because it's a recent one.
I think so.
So if you've read my reviews, if you've watched my reviews, I just recently read the whole entire series of Batman versus Bigby. And I love me some Fables. I love me some Bigby Wolf. And I really love that team up as a brand new kind of modern team up in a way.
That was not what I was thinking.
Oh, what were you thinking?
Rogue and Gambit.
No, that's 5 issues of couples therapy. Watch my review next week.
Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane.
I guess.
I really thought you would have called it. But what's really interesting is you have a DC character that's so well known, Batman. You have a character from the Fables that is so well known, Bigby Wolf, who is an iteration of the Big Bad Wolf. But Fables ended in, I believe, like 2015. So we have this like 7-year hiatus where, unless you were playing The Wolf Among Us or we're reading all the back issues, those sort of get lost in time. They're going to make new ones now, which is why they did this team up. I think when Tim told me, I was like, really, Batman? I'm like, okay, I guess that works. Technically, you have Gotham's Greatest Detective and Fable's Greatest Detective. They both kind of have the same moral point, except that, if I remember correctly, Batman doesn't really kill. Bigby will kill you. He doesn't give a crap. Bigby will rip your throat out and show it to you before you die. No problem. No problem at all. But they both had that same overprotective manner, especially when it comes to the people that they really care about. With Bigby, it's his Fable people. With Batman, it's Gotham and everybody that he cares about. So it was a really good pair up and it worked really, really well. The only problem I really had with it, and if you've watched the review, you know the problem I had with it, is it's not my favorite iteration of Batman. It's Batman at his most egotistical. I'm not going to listen to you because I'm Batman. I'm right. You're wrong. Deal with it. Right. He won't even listen to anybody else. I hate that iteration of Batman. I'm like, wow, this could have been resolved if, I don't know, you just talked to Bigby. So that was my baby. But that was my
punches. That's what he does.
Great, but Bigby can handle it. Like, he put Bigby in the Batcave in chains and then wondered how Bigby broke out and destroyed the Batcave. I don't know. It's the Big Bad Wolf and he's basically immortal. Just so y'all know, he destroyed the heck out of the Batcave, by the way. Spoiler, really destroyed it. But that was really what my problem is that Bigby will actually talk to people and actually do that little bit of legwork, detective work. Batman's just like, I'm going to go ahead and punch you and then not know anything about your super strength and your superpowers and just go ahead and chain you in the place where I keep my secret identity.
That's how Batman does his prep time. With prep time, Batman can beat anybody.
And then within Batman already got his butt beat and was sleeping and recovering. And by
prep time.
By the time he woke up, Bigby was gone and everything was destroyed. But that's a more recent team up that I like to call attention to because it's a character that we haven't seen in a while with one of the most well-known characters. And it's definitely one to take a look at. Even if you know nothing about Fables, do it.
Tone, what do you got?
Before I dive into what I have to say, thou shalt not slander prep time. Okay? Thou shalt not slander prep time. And I'm going to tell you what
it was sleepy Batman time. It was not prep time. It was sleepy Batman time.
I'm going to tell you what I tell the internet. Batman does not require prep time. Batman is prepped. There's a difference.
Really? Then how come he didn't know Bigby was a big bad wolf?
Hey, guess what? There right now, out in the Midwest somewhere, there's some guy living in a spider hole who's prepped for the end of the world. It's not going to save him from the nuke that drops on him. There's only so much prepping you can do, right? But Batman is prepped. He doesn't require prep time. And people are like, well, without his prep time, he can't do jack, right?
Oh, all those questions that keep coming up.
And I'm like, I'm like, hold on. It's his prepped position is literally built into his character, right? And nobody questions Tony Stark just magically having technology shot out of a satellite at any given fucking point, right? To help him in a fight with any superhero. Oh, I thought about this 5 years ago and put it in space for a satellite that'll shoot it to me. And everyone goes, oh, wow, it's so cool, right? Or the fact that Superman, Clark, is the most hacked character in comicdom, right? And it's written into his character that he's a cheat code. It's written into him literally, right? And so Bruce gets one freaking hack built into his character. It's part of the mythos. he's prepared, right? And people lose their shit behind it, and it drives me up the wall, right? But I digress. As clearly, right?
I think my
I did not know Batman
Breathe,
versus
breathe.
Big B was going to be like a controversial topic.
No, it's not. It's not. It was Tim's prep time statement.
No, Tone. It was no.
Oh,
My
Tone,
my-
you're no longer number one best friend.
He's number
Yeah,
2 now.
he kicked me off that list 2 hours ago.
It changes every 2 seconds. No, what you were just talking about, where Batman is prepped. Great representation of that is in JLA versus Avengers, when I think it's Artemis. Is that right? The big giant. Yeah. Okay. When he shows up in the DC universe and all the other heroes are running around trying to figure it out, Batman's standing there for 2 seconds. And he's like, it's the scepter. You got to go after the scepter, get that, and then it's done. And he had that figured out and was just coordinating everything. That falls right in line with what you're talking about.
Just saying, if there's going to be bat slander, at least make it accurate bat
I'm just
slander.
saying that in Batman versus Big V, he did not take that moment to survey the situation and realize that there's somebody that could transform into the big bad fucking wolf in front of him.
I have it written down to never forget. Batman doesn't need prep time. Batman is prepped.
Now, and I point out
That's
again,
another shirt. Tone Falcone,
I
2022.
I do not like what me and my good friend Ron G, I love you. We call him the infallible bat god. I don't like the infallible bat god, right? It cheapens the character where he knew everything, 10 steps ahead, and and I don't have to talk to you because I'm Batman and I figured it out 5 minutes ago. Then I'm getting my ass kicked 3 pages from now, right? I don't like the infallible bat god writing, but I digress. Team ups. Right?
I was like, what are we talking about again? That went on a tangent.
I really triggered.
Just breathe. Just breathe.
Right?
Just breathe. You're okay.
Okay.
I'm just listening.
So it was really when I thought about this earlier this week, when we started thinking about team ups, there have been so many great team ups. There's a Green Lantern, Silver Surfer team up I love in the 90s. There was a Batman Punisher team up that I loved in the 90s, right? And then I started, my brain started spider webbing out. Like you have like Marvel 2, what is it called?
2-in-1.
2-in-1.
Yeah.
Right. That I utterly loved back in the day. And then I also utterly loved when they brought it back and it was a thing in the Torch, right? Which technically you can't say as a team up since they were teammates, but it was great seeing the book focused on the two of them. Is Batman and Superman a team up book? Because it kind of is, right? Or do you disqualify that and just say World's Finest when it comes out as a team up book? And so my mind started going on into all these properties. I love the Wolverine Spider-Man's also a great one. That's a classic team up. And then I realized what it was. And I figured it out just before we all came on. I'm going to put it up in the background.
Ooh.
I think it's going to surprise you. Let's do this. And
let's Young Justice.
That is JLA, World Without Grown-ups.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It is. Yes, it is.
And so
okay.
This is the book that led to the creation of Young Justice.
You have talked about this before, am I right?
Yeah. And at this point in time, Tim Drake and Connor Kent, right? Con-El and Impulse, Bart Allen, are not friends. They've not met, they've not interacted. And they end up in this story. It's a team up book where the three of them meet and they're going against the kid. The Justice League is not around. That's why it's not Young Justice, it's JLA, right? And they meet up and they deal with a threat, another young teenager who has godlike powers. And the way this book just so quickly, masterfully builds their reliance on each other based upon what they all bring to the table and this instant friendship that just kind of falls on them. It's one of my favorite team up books ever.
on.
And the fact that it was so well done that it literally launched the Young Justice franchise, right? We don't want to, at the time, I think sales of Teen Titans were been up and down, and I think they put out, it's the 90s, and so Young Justice comes out at a time where there isn't a Teen Titans book, I believe. And I think they're trying to market the Titans now, that the Teen Titans are now adults, and we're just going to call them Titans, and we're going to fill this space for the young teenagers with Young Justice. And so this is DC Comics heresy, but I like Young Justice far more than I ever liked Teen Titans.
Really?
Yes. And that all stems down to everything going around in this Young Justice, the relationship, the friendship between these three. And this is the original team up that put them together.
That's awesome.
JLA, World Without Grown-Ups, is my favorite team up book.
Do you think Teen Titans is way too saturated of a story at this point? It is everywhere.
Yeah, I just, I've never been a Teen Titans fan, understanding its importance to the fandom and to comic legacy. I don't deny its legacy. I don't deny its impact on people. But it's a book I've never been able to get into. And it comes down to what I've complained about before. It's fundamentally DC being restricted by its structure. It's one of the things I like Marvel. In the middle, you have the Justice League, right? And they represent, and this is just my tone analysis, right? They represent the pantheon of Greek gods, right? With Superman being Zeus and Wonder Woman being Hera, Flash being Mercury's Triton, or Poseidon being Aquaman, Green Lantern being Hephaestus, so on and so forth, right? That's who they represent. And every other team is built off of that team, right? The Titans are just one step below them, right? The Titans are the same totems, just the younger versions of the characters, and the Teen Titans are the younger totems, just the same versions of the characters,
like the demigods.
Exactly. And the Justice Society are the older versions of the characters, right?
The Titans.
And they throw in a couple before them, a couple to keep it interesting, but that structure, that pyramid structure, where it's really the same, stifles DC creatively, right? And so whereas Marvel teams are more thematic, the Avengers is a theme, the Ultimates is a theme, the Defenders is a theme, right? The Champions is a theme, right? The X-Men is a collection. It's a mutant theme, but there's not a theme through the team, and so that lets you roam with your stories, right? And so back to Titans, the teenage and the way they approached teenage storytelling was simply, we're going to create teenage versions of these characters. Back then, we're talking 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, because that's how you get the youth into the shoes of the hero, giving them very little personality of their own. And I think when you get to the 70s, they really start trying to flesh out these personalities of these teenagers. Then they grow them into adults. You can't call them the Teen Titans anymore. You call them the Titans, but why do you need the Titans if you got the Justice League, right? And so I never solved that conundrum. I love the characters more individually than I do as a team, right? And Young Justice solved that for me. Young Justice, from the moment I picked it up and read it, made sense. I should say this book made it make sense to me. I see three friends that are all struggling with what it is to be the junior partner to their lead, while they're dealing with things that are falling in their lap. JLA, World Without Grown-Ups, was perfect, and it made me interested in that in a way that the Teen Titans never could.
Who was the writer for that? Was it Wade?
That's a good question. Give me a second.
Okay. While you are looking that up, Tone, I'll go ahead and rattle off my favorite team ups real quick, and it's two: Spider-Man and Daredevil. I have always liked their dynamic together, that they can always sit and just kind of be themselves when they're around each other. Favorite team up issues with them is Daredevil 304 and 305, where they're fighting the Surgeon General. And that's 2 issues. And then Spider-Man and the Human Torch, just kind of a little bit of a different side where these two can be super competitive with each other, still be really good friends, kind of keep each other in line and force each other to be better. You know what I mean? Maybe not all the time, but they have good times. And I really dig that.
Like how everybody else's is because like they work well together. Mine's like, yeah, they keep butting heads and they hate each other throughout the whole entire series, but they come to a sort of agreement where Batman's like, this doesn't make us friends. Yeah, I know. Duh.
Did you find the writer, Tone?
Yeah, the writer for JLA World Without Grownups is Todd DeZago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, lady and gentlemen, we are reaching the end of our time. I think we're going to save the comics reboots topic conversation for another episode of After Dark when we have Kristen and Sal back. That will be
we went
soon.
on rants.
Yeah,
But
that's all right. That's why we do that, because we are prepped. We don't need prep time.
That's right. Batman is prepped.
Oh, and if you, Tone, I've tagged you like 3 times on my Facebook. I've just been taking quotes that you've been saying all day, tagging you. Tone Falcone 2022.
Before we get out of here, Sal, one more time, let everybody know where they can find you on YouTube and what it is.
Okay. I'm the YouTube channel is called Sal's Comic Corner. I talk about pretty much my slabs and how I built my display, how I prep a book for grading and signing, and actually how to remove a book out of a slab and general stuff like that. I've also done some unboxing videos, some mail calls through there, so please check them out.
Absolutely, guys. That is in the chat here on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube, it will be in the description below. Definitely go and check him out. Give a subscribe and follow that man so you can see how to take books out of slabs and all the other coolness that he has available.
And not leave fingerprints.
And not leave fingerprints. Yes.
Never allowed over at Sal's.
Not stab yourself either. So, that's always a good thing.
Kristen, why don't you tell our wonderful viewing audience how they can dress themselves to impress?
Well, as I keep saying, is that we have merch signs. Sorry, I'm an MST3K person as well. So we do have merchandise. We have t-shirts, hoodies, and stickers. Look at Tim modeling that so beautifully. And what you don't see on the back is a very wonderful quote by Tone Falcone that I know he'll say at the end of this, so I won't spoil the surprise, but we will drop the link there in the description. When you see this on YouTube, we've dropped it a few times already, and go ahead and show your support and look as spiffy as Tim there.
Absolutely. Guys, you know what to do. You know what I'm going to say. You know where to go. Favorite social media sites, podcast streaming platforms on YouTube, Twitch. We have a Discord. All you got to do is type in the Codex Station, and that is where you will find us. If you follow us here on Twitch, if you're not, you need to. New episodes of the podcast, new episodes of Breaking the Code, new episodes of this wonderful program right here, Codex After Dark. Type in the Codex Station. That's where we are. Tone, why don't you go ahead and give us some words of wisdom and take us out of here?
Everybody, thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you for following. Thank you for fellowshipping with us and sharing. Let us know the type of content that you like. We build this content for you to participate with us. And without you, we wouldn't be doing this. So with that being said, really contentious out there in society right now, a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, a lot of hurt taking place. Just remember that as we enjoy these comic forms, we love these heroes because they aspire every single day to be the best version of themselves, even through the face of adversity. And so as you move through your day and you aspire to be the best version of yourself, remember, this is Tone Super the Sci-Fi Swordsman at the Codex Station, where we love comics and we love heroes, and you are a hero.